Hey girl, open the walls, play with your dolls. We'll be a perfect family.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Jaren, and today we are talking about M3GAN. You got Akella Cooper penning the script for this one, as well as James Wan as producer, and they both worked on the movie *Malignant* together, which I absolutely enjoyed. You also have the directing talent of Gerard Johnstone as we follow the story of a robotics engineer played by Allison Williams at a toy company who builds a lifelike doll in which it begins to take a life of its own. This was everything that I wanted out of the 2019 remake of Child's Play. It was a movie that stood by on what it was. It had a little bit of heart, it had a little bit of camp, and was a refreshing take on the killer android slash doll genre. Now, based on the trailers, I was afraid that this movie was going to be a little bit too silly for me. I thought that it was going to cater more towards the middle school kids and be more of a cash grab for horror, but I was wrong. I genuinely like this movie. I couldn't believe I completely skipped out on this movie back in January. Due to the massive amount of buzz it received through marketing, especially TikTok, where M3GAN is dancing and flipping around and shit, the studio asked that they would cut the movie down from its R rated cut to a PG 13 version in which you guys saw in theaters. Fortunately for me, the only version that I was able to see was released on Peacock and on Blu ray, the original unrated cut. Now, this isn't the complete R rated cut because apparently I'm hearing that they skipped out on a few deaths. What we do get is that they threw in some of the original dialogue and some of the one liners in there that do have F bombs happening throughout the film. It's not too gratuitous, especially with the violence. It doesn't necessarily linger on the shots, but you do get some tearing flesh and a little bit more blood, which I can only imagine did not exist at all in the version that you saw in theaters because people were commenting badly on that one, and I was pretty satisfied with what I got. The body count isn't necessarily stacked. Literally, once you see all the cannon fodders come on screen, you can definitely tell who was going to bite the dust. And it doesn't necessarily get over the top or gratuitous, but with what they were able to show with the special effects and the practical effects, it was a soft R rated version at best. Possible PG 15. In this case, story triumphs over Carnage Candy. And speaking of story, I have to say that I very much admired the relationship and drama between Gemma and Katie, played by Allison Williams and Violet McGraw. When Katie moves in with her Aunt Gemma after losing both of her parents, both characters are seeking and struggling to find different wants and different needs in their lives. While M3GAN becomes the solution to both ends, it definitely touches upon the subject of death, in which is a cathartic element from Pet Sematary that I absolutely admire in both layers and vulnerability. The story also scrapes at the social commentary on how modern society is addicted to technology and how it affects our relationship with others, how we behave around those we care about, or our dependence on materialistic things when it is taken away or not available to us. The conception of M3GAN, aka Model 3 Generative Android, was rather coincidentally hilarious for producer James Wan to tackle, considering his other IP, Annabelle. Other than the animatronics or digital visual effects work, Amy Donald was brought in to do the physical performance for M3GAN. She was coached to do M3GAN's movements, her agility, and she even did her own stunt work, which was pretty damn cool, considering the fact that she had a few physical one-on-one scenes with some of the main characters and other potential victims. A lot of what M3GAN does is rather intimidating, whether she's running after you on all fours or manipulating internet connected devices to her advantage. Sometimes it's even silly. Sometimes she choreographs into a dance or breaks into serenade in order to soothe you. But with the interchangeable voice work between Kimberly Crossman and Jenna Davis, M3GAN definitely packs a punch and attitude once she becomes self aware. There was one particular plot hole that I just did not mesh well with, and that involves Ronnie Chiang's assistant Kurt. Those couple scenes that involved him on the laptop and his scene in the elevator just didn't necessarily make any sense, especially if the information given wasn't going to get put to use. unless they were going to use that to set up a sequel. My last gripe and small nitpick has to do with the unrated cut itself. I feel like if this was supposed to be the original R-rated cut, I feel like we didn't get it. And the reason I say that is because a lot of the blood and the gore still felt very flashy versus actually given the time to kind of linger on it just a little bit more. Earn that R-rated cut and lean into it. I mean, swearing wasn't just going to be up for it, and I feel like if they did add in that additional death scene, it would have made me slightly more happy. I felt like a lot more people should have died. Overall, M3GAN has proven that these looks could kill. It's surprisingly fun, cheeky, and refreshing for fans of the killer robot / killer doll genre. I really hope that when they do come up with the sequel, that it would go all out, especially like Age of Ultron or iRobot, where M3GAN is able to manipulate multiple android vessels all at the same time. It would be fucking awesome. Alright guys, that's all I got to share about that movie. Go ahead and check it out. It's available on Blu-ray and DVD, and it's even streaming on Peacock. And I gotta say, I'm sorry that I haven't been keeping up with a lot of movie reviews recently. I will be coming up dry in the beginning of April because I will be leaving for my trip to Portland. That's going to be awesome in the next week and a half, I bet. And I've been just so busy with my schedule, especially with work. It's spring break season. I'm trying to keep up with my side business, and I'm trying to catch up on other movies that I've been like leaving off for a while, especially TV shows. I do have that John Wick Chapter 4 review coming out this upcoming weekend. I will be working on that, I promise you. In the meantime, I'm Jaren Ugbanawag. Look forward to more reviews. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at the movies. Take care.
Everyone thinks that we're perfect. Please don't let them look through the curtains. COLLHOUSE